Okay. I'm at the end of my work day for my compost piles, I think. I've done a lot, and there's still a lot to do, but I got a really, really good head start today. And you can tell my voice is hoarse because it's been so wet. I've been into leaves and all that good stuff, so my allergies are kicking up and bothering my throat a little bit. So, what I'm going to do is do this really, really quick and show you what is so frustrating with composting these days. It used to be paper was paper with a little glue. Cardboard was cardboard with a little glue. And nowadays it seems like it's got some plastic mixed in, and that's very, very frustrating because plastic doesn't decompose. So this is a compost pile that I've started earlier in the summer, and I'm going to zoom out if I can. There we go. And I de-tape all the boxes that I can. Anything that has tape on it, I remove. Anything that has plastic on it, I remove. But the problem is, I did a video of this a few years ago about a nice little worm. About composting these days is that a lot of companies print on plastic and melt that or glue with that to the surface of the cardboards for the labels and stuff like that. And though I understand why, because it gets kicking around the warehouse and truck to truck to into the house, and then sometimes they deliver the packages and it sits outside, and that little print option, I understand that it printing on plastic helps keep the packages a little drier, and it also doesn't wear off like regular print on paper does. So things don't fade, things don't become worn off in the stores as they become shuffled around on the shelves and on pallets and forklifts and all that good stuff. So the problem becomes when you compost. It used to be until like 5 or 6 years ago, about 5 years ago probably, that I started noticing that plastic print was attached to cardboard, because I kept finding stuff in my compost like this right here. This right here, you can see there's some print on it still. I don't know what it was, but it had purple ink, green ink, yellow ink, and that was one of the cardboard pieces that I composted. And all the cardboard's gone. That's great, but I'm left with the plastic, and I don't know what is in that ink that could contaminate my soil. So that's very, very frustrating. And I never know. That right there. I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, see, I don't know what some of this stuff comes from. So I have to dig it all out of my compost. It's really, really frustrating. And another thing I found is that don't decompose or don't compost socks, because I went through Paul's socks and wow, all that elastic is rubber does not decompose very well. So that's why I had to stop working on this compost pile, because it was impossible. I mean, it was just so stringy that I couldn't even lift it with a pitch. Matter of fact, trying to move this, I broke my pitchfork. So I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that. But it was a metal pitchfork too. But it's just like digging into roots, fine roots in here. You go to pick it up and you can't pick it up very far, and it's elastic, so it bounces around, and I try to pull it, it doesn't snap. So what I had to do with this pile here is I'm going to leave this for the winter. And hopefully those rubber pieces have decomposed enough so next spring I can sift it and see if I can get rid of some of the elastic that's in there, which is frustrating.